Combat sports fans, welcome to another great edition of Strong Style. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. We are here to talk all things wrestling and MMA and some things in between. So many great things to get into. Of course, if you want to follow the show, you want to watch any of our other content or other content like this, you can go to our YouTube page, impact underscore media underscore, and find all those amazing shows over there. We added in a new one. So wrestling fans, if you are a fan of 12 gauge professional wrestling, at least for now, it is a review show. So obviously I will mention and preview the 12 gauge cards on here, and you will find the reviews on Charismatic Impact, starring Kyle Charisma and The Impact for that one. And episode 1 ended up being 2 parts because we both like to talk, and we ended up getting to the end of part 1. Part 2 starts off with the main event, which was a casket match. So go check out that. It was a lot of fun. Kyle is great. He was a great guest to have on, and he is the even more spectacularly exceptional co-host. So fun getting to chat it up with that guy. That is our new content, and that was between that and Hunker Down, our UGA football show. Those were on Tuesday. We're going to crank out a couple more tonight, and you will see the rest of them throughout the weekend. More than likely tomorrow, but throughout the weekend. But let's get into it, right? All right. Let's start with UFC. UFC Fight Night, DeRitter versus Allen did not disappoint. Did it? Did it disappoint you guys? It didn't disappoint me at all. Absolutely did not disappoint me at all. I really thought DeRitter had a good chance on the main event. Turns out that Brandon Allen, right at the end of round number 4, had a different thing in mind. DeRitter basically didn't answer the bell. He got the TKO victory. Brandon Allen did. Fantastic job there. Man, didn't see that coming. I thought Brandon Allen was good. That was spectacular. That's what you have to do to get people's attention in the UFC, is you have to wow them on top of winning. Yes, winning helps, but I've seen people go on 10-fight win streaks and they barely move up through the division. I've seen people have a spectacular performance and leapfrog 15 people. It happens. It's, they're trying to sell tickets as much as they're trying to sell fights. And you got to talk them up. You got to get a little bit of that WWE, a little bit of that, what do you call it? A little bit of that Broadway. A little bit of that Broadway in there because it helped. It absolutely helped. But big win for Brendan Allen in that one. We move on to the co-main event where Mike Malott, who I believe I picked, won a unanimous decision over Kevin Holland. Pretty sure I thought it was going to go the distance. I may have said otherwise, but that makes a lot of sense because those two, they're a tough night at the office. They are very hard to get out of a fight. So that goes unanimous decision to Mike Malott. Aman Zahabi gets the split decision win over Marlon Tito Vera. I know I picked Tito. You don't have to tell me I missed that one. I know I picked Tito Vera in that one. Split decision is tough. I wonder what swayed the two judges this way and the one that swayed the other one this way. Like knowing how many legs get to the center of a Tootsie Roll pop. The world may never know. But it was a good fight between these two. Saying it's split, okay. When it goes to the judge decisions, there's not a lot you can say about it. You had a chance to get out of there and you didn't. So is what it is. Hate it for Cheeto, but hey, it's a hobby. Big win. Do something with it. Manon Farrow gets the KO victory over Jasmine Vicious. This was fun. This is barely a minute in. Bang, bang. We're out of there. Manon Farrow wanted to remind people. Let me rephrase that. Manon Farrow wanted to remind people he gets paid by the fight, not by the round, not by the minute. not by the number of punches. Nope. She had dinner plans, folks. So she got out of there as fast as she could. She caught Jasmine and just crushed her. Absolutely crushed her. Charles Air Jourdain gets the great submission win over Davy Grant. I like both those guys, man. It's hard to go against either one of them, but that was a good guillotine he had on him. And Davy Grant just couldn't do much about it. That was only 3 minutes from the fight. Davy Grant will rebound. I'm not worried about that. But Charles Air Jourdain moving up the result. And then lastly, Kyle Nelson with a big unanimous decision win over Matt Frivola. Another good, solid fight. To be in Canada, a lot of the Canadians won. Mike Malott, Zahabi, Jasmine didn't. Air Jourdain, Kyle Nelson. Drew Dober took out Kyle Prepelik. So he didn't win his home country. There was one other one. Oh, Melissa Croden with the big TKO over Tenaria Lisboa. Big win. Big win in Canada. If you're Canadian, you win in Canada. How about you? That's great. Because, see, here's the thing. Most fighters in the UFC, if they're from the U.S., they tend to either fight really good in their hometown or they don't. People from other countries tend to fight good in their home country. So it's always big to get the big win there. Melissa Croden gets it. So we move to this weekend. Are they on Halloween weekend? They are on Halloween weekend. Wow, it's a fight night. Ooh. All right. Well, instead we move to UFC 321. UFC 321. As we have ferociousness all in this studio right now. It's going to be Aspinall versus Cyril Gahn. We finally get to see some sort. It's going to be a heavyweight title fight. Cyril Gahn seems to always be that guy. Like, you need a contender. Here's Cyril Gahn. It's really fantastic and really crazy. Where is this one at? This one is at. Oh, it's in Abu Dhabi. That's right. A new one was coming up. It's going to be on ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and FX. The prelims are at 10 a.m. The pay-per-view will start at 2 p.m. And lots of places you can get access to it. I believe ESPN is showing some sort of part of it. And Paramount, I think, is where the other one, the main one is that you can get. But we get Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gahn. Cyril Gahn grew on me. He grew on me because he's so technical. He's such a great boxer and great striker. He just out-techs you in everything. And just seems to just want to outlast you and try to wear you out, similar to the way Merab Dvalishvili does, except for Merab does it with wrestling. Cyril Gahn tries to, like, lull you to sleep with just a barrage of punches. Tries to knock you out, really. You know, not like he's boring. He's not at all. But he's a plus 300 dog in this one. His opponent's pretty good. His opponent's only a minus 400, okay, that's respect to both. Tom Aspinall is my pick. I think he's going to win this. I think we are just in the age of Tom Aspinall, but Cyril Gahn could out-tech him, could actually catch him. So we'll see how this goes. I think Tom does win this. I think he wins it in the second or third. But if Cyril Gahn won this by decision or late in the fifth, I could definitely see that too. The co-main event, Virna Jandiroba is going against Mackenzie Dern. Been a minute since we've seen Mackenzie. Been a minute since we've seen Jandiroba. So plus 125 for Virna. Mackenzie is a minus 150. I'll read this if I get it right. This is for this women's strawweight. So this can be a big fight. It's already a big fight anyway because it's the co-main event at UFC 321. How much bigger can you get than that? The main event? You're not going to beat the heavyweight main event. Who is going to win this one? Mackenzie Dern is the slight favorite. I'm going Mackenzie Dern. Verna is very, very good. She wins almost all the time, especially when I go against her. but I'm going to take Mackenzie Dern to be the strawweight champion at the end of this. Umar Nurmagomedov is a minus 800 favorite over Mario Bautista, who is a plus 500. I think it's closer than that. Umar is very good. He does that different style of wrestling that, if I'm not mistaken, that Dagestani style that's just, man, taking over the world. Bautista, he's no slouch. He's no slouch in this movie. They've had about the same number of fights, so you can't give some sort of, you know, oh, well, he's had more fights, or he's had more experience. I wouldn't go that far. I think Umar's too big of a favorite. I would love to see Bautista upset him. In fact, what's it going to hurt either way? I will take Mario Bautista to upset Umar Nurmagomedov. I think it's highly unlikely, but I'm going to call it. Alexander Volkov just nuts, by the way, that Alexander Volkov is a plus 170. Versus Gelson Almeida at a minus 200. That seems low too. But Almeida's really good. They really want him to become one of the next big stars. We'll see if he can beat Volkov. You got to put him up there. But I think Alexander Volkov finds a way to make this happen. And then the last one on paper, or all this paper, yes. And then the opener for the pay-per-view is going to be Alexander Rakic at minus 110 versus Azamat Murzakanov, which they have minus 110 as well, which is crazy because Rakic is 14-5, Azamat is 15-0. So they think it's pretty even, 14-5 and 15-0. Give me Alexander Rakic to hand Murzakanov his first loss. I'll go with that. Just going over some other fights that kind of piqued my interest. Ludovic Klein, a little bit of a favorite over Mateus Rebecki. Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Miguel Delgado. And to open it up, Jacqueline Amorim versus Mizuki. It should be fun. Jacqueline is the big favorite, but hey, all bets are off when that cage door slams. Am I right? I am right. What else is coming up? Okay. Let me go and get this out of the way. TNA this week decided they were going to do an After the Glory show. They had a couple matches on it. One involved Steve Macklin. It was really good because Steve Macklin is really good. He retained his title. They mostly just recapped Bound for Glory. So if you didn't get a chance to watch Bound for Glory, they kind of recapped it and gave you reasons why you should buy the replay and why you should potentially watch it. I tell you, you should watch it because TNA just keeps building and building and getting bigger and bigger. And it's reminding me of the Kurt Angle, Sting, Christian Cage days, AJ Styles, Daniel, Samoa Joe, all the big dogs of yesteryear. It's reminding me of those. So it definitely tune in to Bound for Glory if you get a chance. What else was there? NXT. We start off with Ricky Saints and Trick Williams, still kind of getting into it. I want to see where it goes from here. I think Trick's about to get called up. I'm not certain on that because I'm not sure where he's going to go on the Raw or SmackDown roster. If he joins up with Mello, that would make sense, but you just split Mello from Miz. So why in the world would you stick him back with the tag team? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless you're going to get rid of Street Profits. I guess they could take that spot. They need to clean up their tag division, and that doesn't mean get rid of people, but they need to just make it better. Right now, there's some good matches, but none of the stories mean anything at all. It's like become champ, keep him for 3 or 4 times, and then drop him to the next guy, and then drop him to the next. It's a big carousel, which means none of the wins mean anything. It's just everybody take a turn. It doesn't mean anything. Like I said, I watch because I enjoy the matches, but far as the stories go, the tag division is not great. Not great. Um, what else was there? There was the Hardys, and Leon Slater and Javon Evans talking. That would be a fun matchup to see at some point. Um, Matt Cardona took on Josh Briggs. I was surprised that Briggs won, not because he's not good. I was surprised because Cardona is really heating up again. I saw him at the NWA show here in Atlanta on Friday. Shout out to them. And NWA do a killer party, basically. They did 4 hours of TV tapings, which is why I can't tell you any of the results. But if you want to know people that were there, so that in the next 4 weeks when you tune into your Roku, or the next handful of weeks, whenever they show these, when you tune in on your Roku, you will see the Good Brothers, you will see Matt Cardona, you will see Daisy Kills, who I'm becoming a big fan of. You will see man, all the stars. You're gonna see all big strong Mims. You'll see the Country Gentlemen. You're God, like I said, I didn't write them down because it was a TV taping. If you want to see some of the results and things like that, I believe Larry at Georgia Wrestling History wrote down some of them, and he did a pretty good, or he did a fantastic review of the show. Um, got to be got to meet Bob McAteer at that particular show, who is one of the big photographers from Georgia Wrestling History. Since I've been freelancing with them and kind of joining forces a little bit since the spring, I've been trying to slowly meet everybody. I think I'm about halfway through that, but it's going to be fun when we all get together in I believe January when the awards are going to be. It's going to be a lot of fun, and people ask me all the time, how do I make my case for this award or that award, or what are the awards and things like that. Only thing I can tell you is go back and look at the awards from last year. I think they're going to try to add some for this year too, because there are some that are missing. But go back and look at the ones from last year and see the people that won and see the people who were nominated and look at what they did. So if you're looking to be technician of the year, well, then you need to go see what I think it's the Kyle Matthews Award because he won it so many times. Go see what Kyle Matthews is up to. I've seen him a couple times this year. Because Narcissism won the award. Let's go see what Narcissism's doing, and just go look at those people. And if you're trying to be technician, you need to make your case that you are either doing the things or doing the things better than those people did last year. You're wanting to be promoter of the year or promotion of the year. Well, look at who won last year. What did they do? What made them stand out? Then you need to stand out. That's all I can tell you because I don't know all the categories. They change every year. They don't change a lot, but it's a discussion we haven't had yet. So just throw that out there. But so much fun at NWA. I ran into a lot of people I know. Um, but the ones that stood out the most are the people who actually came up to me and apparently really wanted to chat, which I thought was awesome. My buddy Albert, who will also be at a show this weekend that I will talk about in a minute. He came out. We went out to show there. Had a great time. It's fun being a fan and not having to worry about a write up for a minute. I enjoy the write up so much, but it's fun to just sit back and hang out. But I gotta say, we were waiting on our ride outside, or we were about to wait on our ride outside, and I see a hand come across. Hey, Jeremy, how are you? I look up, and it's Zach Buchanan, Bull Buchanan's youngest kid. It's not really a kid. I mean, tearing up the indie scene right now in Georgia. But we chatted for a minute, and then I saw his dad come up, so I chatted with him for a minute. I know Bull just did a live a little bit earlier, but look forward to some things they are doing at Bullpen here on their next show, and we will talk more about that when we get closer to it. But I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool because I just think I'm just another guy, just a reporter, for these shows. And Zach saw me and came straight up to me, which I thought was great, and so did his dad. So just kind of tells you what kind of people they are, and I appreciate it. Um, Talked about the shows I was at. Back to NXT. There we go. Cardona versus Josh Briggs. Josh Briggs did win that one, which is a nod to Josh Briggs, and it didn't hurt Cardona anyway. But they need to really build Briggs. I think he could be a monster moving forward. I think he needs to work a little bit on his mic skills, or no, he doesn't fit. I was gonna say put him with Paul Heyman, but he doesn't fit. Not one bit with that group. It wouldn't work. But Josh Briggs, I think, can do some big things. I would like to see him maybe NXT champ for a minute and see how he handles that before I decided what I wanted to do with him. Or the North American champion. Either one of those, I think, would do good. El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. took on Lexus King, who has kind of turned into a spoiled brat, which is kind of good at. And it's not natural. I met the kid. I met the guy, and he's not like that at all. But boy, on TV, he can kind of turn into a little bit of an entitled jerk. And El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. took care of that. I've met Dr. Wagner Jr. He is fantastic as well. And it was good to see him on NXT. The CMLL crossover has been great. And I want to see more CMLL people on WWE TV and not just all the WWE people on CMLL pay-per-views. Good showing from Lexus King, though. And of course, Ethan Page showed up at the end because him and Dr. Wagner Jr. are on a collision course, and it's going to happen. We saw Sol Ruka and Zarya. I really thought they were going to split that team before they brought Sol Ruka up, but it seems like they haven't. I'm glad they haven't. I think Sol Ruka is really good, and she can be pushed in one way, and Zarya is really good and can be pushed in another, and I think they both could be stars. So I look forward to it. I'm a big Zarya fan. I like Sol Ruka a lot. I really think if you do it right, this surge of NXT stars that you've pushed in the women's division up to the main roster now, he's going to really take this thing in a totally different, higher elevation. Speaking of, Blake Monroe took on Zarya, and Sol Ruka came down there as well. Blake Monroe gets the win. She also showed up on Raw and SmackDown this week. Or she showed up on, I think she was on SmackDown. They've been on Raw. Either way, she showed up. So that'll play something into it. But she gets the win here. Zarya is just having a tough go of it in the ring, but it didn't overshadow her performance. Then Shawn Spears and Nico took on Chase University and Hank and Tank. This one ended in a no contest because OTM came out and annihilated Chase U and Hank and Tank. Good to see them back. I think one of them was hurt or something, and so that's why they moved Jada Parker away from them. But I wouldn't mind seeing Jada partner back up with them a little bit, and they go back to that triad. I think they could do a lot more really fun things if they do that. They had a number one contender battle royal for the women's championship, and the winner of that was Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley. She is getting a big boost right now. I think her alliance with Spears and Nico and Izzy is really going to help. And it didn't make JC Jane very happy that it was Tatum Paxley. She's a wild matchup. So we will see what actually comes of that this coming week here. And that moves us to AEW. AEW. I'm just going to talk WrestleDream because WrestleDream very much did happen, and it was very much a dream of wrestling. A lot of WrestleDreams all in one. So we start with the pre-show, Jet Speed versus FTR with Stokely Hathaway. This was a good match. once again, FTR, everybody's applauding them for their being so heelish and so great, and then doing all these wonderful. It kind of gets annoying. I'm not a big fan of it. I like FTR, but them getting people's faces and just kind of doing what they want to do and say what they want to say. I mean, like, I don't mind you do it with anybody in the ring or the personnel, but they're doing it with fans and really riling people up the wrong way, and I just don't like it. But I'm not a big enough fan of Jet Speed. I thought maybe they'd put them over, but FTR I don't think it's going to put anybody over. So I don't know. We'll see where they go with this. Um, Jamie Hayter versus Tekla was very let's see, technically sound. These two really know how to perform and really know how to wrestle and really know how to tear each other apart and did a very extremely great job of doing that. Jamie Hayter gets the win in that one. Once again, if you don't watch Bound for Glory, if you did, go watch WrestleDream. WrestleDream was fantastic. And if you don't want to pony up the money, I get it. There's a lot of clips out there and a lot of stuff. Just check it out. There's a lot of really, really cool things that happen. Jurassic Express beats the Young Bucks. The Callis family was down there. Omega come out for the big save. The thing, I really thought Jack Perry was going to flip and join the Young Bucks. And I was totally, totally wrong in that assessment. He is going to stick with the big dinosaur, Luchasaurus, which is fine. I highly enjoy that team. So, yeah, Jurassic Express get the win. Young Bucks do the right thing and disagree with me in this situation and make it a really great moment. But the Young Bucks are just, you can talk about FTR doing all these great things all you want. I think the Young Bucks are one of the best teams in the world still. And what they're doing for AEW with the things they're doing is they're doing way more in the ring than they're doing out of the ring. And they're doing so many things out of the ring. It's unreal. The Hurt Syndicate beat the Demand in a six-man tornado match. They now say that the Hurt Syndicate are the number one contenders for the trios titles for the Op. That'd be a fun match. I hope the Hurt Syndicate win them, because if not, it was kind of all for nothing. But it was kind of all for nothing to name the team the Demand, which are the, what are they called? It's Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. Yeah. And like you built them all up, you gave them a shiny new title and name, and then the Hurt Syndicate beat the snot out of them. Okay. I enjoyed the match, but where are we going with it? Unless the Hurt Syndicate are about to be the champions again, other than that, didn't make a lot of sense to me. Mark Briscoe took on Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title. I told you it'd be really fun if Mark Briscoe won it. Apparently, the writers didn't agree with me, and Kyle Fletcher won, but it left him as looking strong like he is. He's so close to being main event and being big dog, but he's just not quite there. A big run with the TNT title could do that, but he takes care of Mark Briscoe in this one. Toni Storm got her rematch against Chris Statlander. Statlander beat her. I like Statlander as the face of the division. Toni Storm is also a good candidate for that anyway, but I want to see Toni get into more twisted and interesting showdowns now. Now the title's not there, there's a lot more interesting things I think she can get into, and we can really see her blossom and bloom even bigger than she is now. I think Chris Statlander will move on and start going through the division of beating the who's who. Not sure who I'm kind of looking over the card real quick, trying to see if there was somebody that stood out real quickly that, oh, this is who I really don't know. I guess we'll have to watch this week's episode and see who they've kind of stacked against her. But I think Statlander's going to have it for a minute. I would like to see her against Marina Shafir, because she's still kind of feuding with Wheeler Yuta a little bit too. So I kind of like to see that. Also in women's action, Mercedes Moné defended her title, the TBS title, I guess Mina Shirakawa. Mina is really good, but Monet is just on another level right now. She's got 12 or 13 or 14 belts. She just won another one over the weekend. But as much as I used to spend a lot of our AEW show saying that I didn't like Monet and I didn't really like her matches much, I found myself watching more of her matches, and I really respect what she does. She's really good. You cannot like her antics all you want, but when she shows up and the lights turn on, she's a star. Bro Dito took on Takeshita and Okada, who proved they can't get along and they have got to go one on one and hash this out. Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you and your friends have to just hash it out so you can be friends again. And sometimes you have to hash it out because you can't be friends again. But Brodito gets a big win over Takeshita and Okada. And at some point, hopefully in the near future, we get Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada one-on-one. I don't care if it's in Japan. It can be on the moon. It's fine. I'll watch it. Because at some point, Takeshita is going to take that torch, whether Okada gives it to him or not, because Takeshita is the future big-time Japanese star. Hangman Adam Page defending his title against Samoa Joe. It also included Shibata and Hobbs, who attacked Hangman after it was all over. And apparently they are going to the dark side now. That's fine. I like Samoa Joe when he's devious. He's way better. Way better. So I think him and Hangman will have another match at some point. Hangman, another great notch in the belt, another great title defense. I think he will probably carry it. He might carry it into the new year. Just depends on who they put against him. But as far as anybody, I think they could between now and the end of the year. I think he'll be able to mow them all down. Hangman's a good leader going forward. And maybe they're hanging out till because the person that I think should take it off Hangman, if somebody's going to, is Swerve Strickland, and Swerve is I think out injured. So is Will Ospreay. So when you get all those guys back, that's when you have a really good melee. And I think one of them will take it off of Hangman. At some point, Ospreay should be champion. And at some point, Swerve should get it back. Just my opinion. Then we go to the I Quit match. And I told you guys I was pretty sure that Moxley was not going to say I quit. And I was wrong. I was really wrong. This match included, of course, the Death Riders coming down, and it included old Saint Steve himself, Stinger Claws, because my goodness, he's all white now, and it was so. I'll be honest, it's my show. It was badass looking. It has badass Sting right there. He come down, he had his bat. He was coming at Moxley. Because Moxley was choking Darby or trying to drown him in a fish tank. Just had his head under there, like almost waterboarding him to a point. And Sting, the lights go out. Sting comes down. He's got his bat. As Mox is backing away this way, he smashes the tank and tosses the bat to Darby, who wore John Moxley out with it. Wore him out. Slap out with it. And then put him in a Scorpion Deathlock. And he actually said, I quit. And Darby won that match. And my goodness, I want them to get away from this style of stuff because between the plastic bag and that and the stuff, it's beyond deathmatch stuff. But this match was great. It really was. But I want them to, if they want to fight, they can fight other ways. I don't know of another match these two can have. It's time for Mox to do something else. Time for Darby to do something else. But all in all, I thought WrestleDream was a 4 out of 5. I thought it was really good. A couple spots where you're just like, okay, I'm following. Not a big fan, but I'm following. But other than that, man, AEW's continuing to knock it out of the park. They have gotten better in recent months as well. Everybody's ticking. What is it? Rising tides lift all boats. Here's what it is. And like I said, if you want to hear mine and Kyle Charisma's review of the 12-gauge show that we were both at, he is the ring announcer. I'm the reporter for that show. up in Rome, 12 Gauge Pro Wrestling. Rocky Shaw does a great job up there. House of Fears with this one ended with a casket match. We talk about that in both the shows. Check that out. And also it'll give you a little bit of a clue in case you go to other shows and see the Devil Ryan Mark and me or Kyle or the Father Son Wrestling Podcast, which is another fun podcast if you want to listen to that. Definitely do. Jeff and Carson do a great job there, but each of us have our own interactions with the Devil Ryan Mark, and each of us played a little bit of a role in the match that ended with him being put in a casket and wheeled into the hearse and driven away. As I said on that show, the fan question came in. I have not seen Ryan since then. I have heard through text message from him who says, "You think this is over?" Yeah, you want to know what that means? You got to find shows where any of us are going to be there with Ryan, because that's the only way we're going to find answers. And you guys will be the first to know. But other than that, this weekend, I don't have any shows except for one. Except for one. Now, there's two shows. Unfortunately, they're having at the same time, so I will be at one and not the other. And yes, I have talked to my good buddy, the promoter and matchmaker of one, about why I will not be at his show. And it has no ill will. I promise you. I'll say it now. Deep South Wrestling is going to be at New Realm this Sunday at the same time that Mucha Lucha ATL will be at Espacio Discoteca in Norcross. And I will be at Mucha Lucha. I just talked to Ricardo. We have talked to Ricardo a handful of times over the last few days. Really, really fun show. The Deep South shows are spectacular too, but Mucha Lucha is a lot of fun, and just a killer amount of people on there. And I'll get into those in a minute. I was wanting to see if Deep South Wrestling had a post with some matches coming up. It looks like Audrey Allen and Gemma Jules will probably be battling again because they were on a poster. What else? Did they announce any other? I don't think they did, but they were at the Decatur Barbecue Festival and they had some just outstanding matches, man. I was not there, but I saw some clips, and one AA Ron, Aaron Dallas. Congratulations, bud. You made your big debut on Deep South. I'm not going to claim any responsibility for that. You are somebody that I was going to talk to Eric about, and you made it there before I got a chance to. So my guess is maybe everybody's favorite play-by-play commentator for Deep South and friend of the show might have thrown your name out there. I'm not sure how you got in front of Eric and Nick Patrick's radar, but everything I heard, you did pretty well. So is what it is. But that show coming up, like I said, MLA is just completely booked solid, and that's going to be a fantastic time this weekend as well. But we've reached the end of the show. So for all you guys out there that are watching, we definitely appreciate it. This has been another great edition of Strong Style. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next week. Go watch wrestling. Go watch fighting. Deuces.